What If Season 3, Episode 2 is here as well, dropping Monday, December 23rd. These things are available first thing in the morning, by the way. Like, it's the week of Christmas. If you're hanging out and you get to be off at all and you are trying to put something on your TV and you're a Marvel fan, this is what you want to watch. What if Agatha went to Hollywood? And this was an episode. This has a lot going on, and it was very fun, very visually stunning, and for me personally, brought back some stuff from movies like The Eternals that I was very pleased to see back in the MCU. So with that, we'll give that full spoiler alert about the episode. If you haven't seen it yet, go out and watch it. If you have, that spoiler alert, it's already been given. Agatha does indeed go to Hollywood because she finds out, get this, about the Tiamat, celestial god that's in the heart of the earth. If you have seen the movie Eternals, which I watched this one, I like this movie. It gets a lot of flack. I think it's a great movie. I just watched it. I mean, it was yesterday or the day before. And a lot of times I had these instincts to watch certain things before other things come out. This was it. I watched Eternals yesterday. This is an Eternals focused what if. And I think that's so cool because there's so much with these characters to be explored. A lot was introduced in that movie. There's rumors that we don't get a sequel of Eternals. I'm hoping that's not true. But even if we didn't, there's things that they are bringing back into the fold. So Agatha does find out, and this is Catherine Hahn playing the character. At least I think. I think they sound so good. Sometimes they get sound alikes that will really trick you, but I'm pretty sure this is Catherine Hahn, and it's the '60s, and we get like 1960s Howard Stark, who we've seen in, movies. Captain America: The First Avenger. What if he's been along for all the Peggy Carter episodes? And it's this young Howard Stark. He's got his Jarvis in this one, and they're essentially working in Hollywood. That's like this multiverse. Howard Stark works in Hollywood. It's a bit of a leap for me, but he's doing it. And Agatha's plan is to use Hollywood to perform a ritual. What's Agatha's thing? What's her whole thing? Sucking powers, right? Like sucking and stealing powers. And that's her plan here, is to use Hollywood to create a set, to create like ruins, to run a spell, to suck up the powers from Tiamat, the celestial god that in Eternals we learn will erupt because these gods need intelligent life to grow. And then one day they just destroy the planet that they're born into. So all of us, like here on Earth, would die just so this god could live. That was the whole story in Eternals. Same thing here, except Agatha got ahead of it. Same thing with the other Eternals. Who do we get in this one? Kumail Nanjiani bringing back his character of Kingo. And you'll remember in Eternals, he was an actor that didn't age, and he did a series of kind of like Indiana Jones, like but Indian version movies. And he was a big actor. Here he is again. These two face off each other in a giant Hollywood dance ensemble. Yeah, a lot of dance, a lot of music, a lot of tap dancing, a lot of Howard Stark just yelling like more, more. And I think a big miss on this part was he had Jarvis. Anthony Stark had, or not Anthony, Howard Stark had Jarvis helping him out in this episode. That's great. His right hand man, his valet, if you will. Well, in Eternals, Kingo, Kumail Nanjiani had a valet as well. I forget his name, but he was a big part of the movie. And they did not bring him into this What If episode. I thought that was a huge miss. Like, you could have a couple of valets, like, kind of riffing off each other and making jokes, and there's something there. But either way, what else has Agatha done? She's already stolen the powers from the rest of the Eternals because, like, in this multiverse, she's just learned about everything. She's very old. She's been around for the whole thing. Takes the other Eternals' powers, and Kingo decides, I'm going to face off against you to beat you. But then they end up teaming up because they're on the same page about, like, Tiamat shouldn't come out and kill everyone. She can prevent it by taking the powers. And then it becomes Erisham, the original, like, one of the OG celestial gods from Eternals, is here to stop what's happening. He's seen that they're plotting against him, and now he's on his way to Earth, which I liked in this episode of What If, what they didn't do in Eternals. In Eternals, Erisham just shows up at the end, and it's like very much like a teleport situation where he just kind of appears. This one, they kind of show it like Infinity War style, where the Hulk was coming in via the Bifrost, and you kind of like get to see him like circle like Jupiter or whatever. In this one, Erisham's like passing by the Watcher's face, and it looked pretty epic. I think it's one of my this is my favorite thing really about this episode is Agatha does succeed. She takes the power from the Celestial and Earth, becomes huge right as Arishem arrives. So they're both right outside the Earth, and she's this magnificent giant, pretty much Agatha witch now with celestial powers, and we get this insane fight scene. Like this is going to give you like foreshadowing on like what a Galactus will feel like in the MCU once we get Fantastic Four and stuff rolling. Like this is showing even in animation just how good these grand fights can look. And Agatha just looked beautiful. The colors were insane. The seeing the Eternals like circles, patterns, glowy type effect that they've did in the movies was really front and center here in the show. And then story wise, it seems like Agatha's going to do her thing and like turn completely evil. She has all this power. She just beat the big Arishem god. She beats him. Oh, what's she going to do now? Kingo convinces her just to take over a new leaf, be an actor, make movies, and like use your power to like create world peace. And that's what Howard Stark says. He's like, we have world peace. We're just making movies now. Movies are amazing. Kind of cool, whatever. And then the Watcher says like, is there going to be any ramifications? Of course, you killed like the ultimate celestial out in space. Are more going to come? And that's the cliffhanger. All of these celestials just come up to Earth and roll credits. So really fun, really grand. Maybe just I'm a big musical guy, but maybe a hair too much tap dancing and just Howard Stark yelling as a director was kind of too much. I was like, hey, let's get to the Agatha, the Kingo. Like I like seeing their power set. I really love seeing Eternals getting brought back into the fold. As a fan of that movie, wanting to see more of those characters and more of those storylines, it's really promising to me to see it front and center here on What If episode 2 of season 3, and what this could mean for larger MCU. We'll see. We're being told that this What If season's the final story. I think that means that like this storyline with the Watcher and the Guardians of the Multiverse, it's all going to come to a close. They usually bring that back into at the last 2 or 3 episodes. They start building toward this kind of like final fight where everybody's going to team up and come in. So everything you've seen from these episodes from before season 1, season 2, just expect those to be coming back. So daily drops this week. December 23rd is today, Monday, and they'll be dropping all the way through 29th. You're going to get a What If episode every day on Disney Plus. So we'll keep talking about it. Look for instant reactions and quick posts on our social media at Mostly Superheroes and more reviews like this on the podcast. Subscribe and listen where you watch or listen to podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, Patreon, and mostlysuperheroes.com. It's all there. I'm your host, Logan. We'll see you next time. Take it easy. Mostly Superheroes is proud to be funded in part by our sponsors. Mostly Superheroes is funded in part by paying patrons who receive early, ad-free, and exclusive episodes. Subscribe at mostlysuperheroes.com/support. Thank you for supporting your favorite independent podcast. Mostly Superheroes is an independent podcast owned and operated by Carrogan Ventures in St. Louis, Missouri. Hosted by Logan Janis, Andy Hunn, and Scott Swearingen. Brand and creative by Carrie Clark Design. Music by Audionautics. Learn more at audionautics.com. Find more at mostlysuperheroes.com.